Welcome. Rick Yasayan along with Kevin Hayakawa behind the camera, and we're here for another day of Let's Find Out. We are at the home of Don Winterstein, and we are just one day off of Thanksgiving in November, and it's a glorious 90 degrees out plus, very warm for November. And we're going to find out about Don Winterstein's home. He's got a rather unique approach to things, and we're going to find out about that today. So here we are with Don, and we are under, what type of tree is this beautiful thing?
Menorah Blanco.
Menorah Blanco, and look at the size on this one. My goodness. This is a wonderfully tasting, good tasting grapefruit, and these usually come due about when?
I usually start picking around January.
January.
But they're good through about May.
Okay. So we're a little early on this. Yep. It gets bigger.
This year they're smaller than usual. I don't know why, but
yeah, some of these are.
Last year they were very large. A lot of my citrus seems small this year. It may have been the extra heat and lack of water. I don't really know.
Okay, well, we'll maybe give this a try.
But there are hundreds of them on the tree.
Beautiful, beautiful.
They're
lots and
kind
lots.
of small.
Lots and lots.
This one probably tastes good. I've tried them before at this stage. And it is probably...
Well, that looks a little better.
When I eat these, I usually peel off the membranes between the segments.
Eat them like a pomelo, in other words.
You can try that if you want. Yeah, I don't cut these. I always.
Yeah, that's sweet. Can stand a little bit more maturing, but that's sweet.
Yeah, actually, it tastes fairly mature.
Mm-hmm. Menorah Blanco is a white grapefruit and naturally sweet. If you purchased one of these, probably would not need very much sugar on them at all, if any. I don't know, what do you think?
I would say, to my mind, Menorah Blancos are very sweet and pleasant, but they're among the blander citrus fruits I'm growing.
Yeah, this big one was also dry.
Yeah, the Chandler Pomelo has more flavor, and good old Washington Navel also has more flavor, but they beat the Satsuma Mandarin, which is probably the least flavorful of the citrus that I grow.
So we are standing under a wonderful fruit, supposedly from New Zealand, but actually I believe they're from China.
Yes,
is that right?
That's right.
These are Kiwis. What variety have we got here?
This is Hayward.
Hayward's?
Yep.
Okay. And these are not yet ready to pick. They're all fairly hard. Once you pick them, it's still going to take another couple of weeks before they soften up enough to be able to eat. But this is just magnificent. It's all throughout the area in here. The vines go every which way, and these beautiful, beautiful fruit. He's got literally hundreds of them here. Don, these are just great. How many varieties do you have?
One variety.
Just the one?
Is all you need.
Okay. But there are other varieties out there.
Yeah. Tree grows Vincent, which is a little bit smaller fruit, and I think it's supposed to be better suited for warm climates.
So this that we're looking at, this red little berry, I'm going to pop that off. And we've got little tiny baby ones right here, ready to start 100,000s even. They're all over. If you let them go too long, they dry up. Do you ever use these dry ones for anything?
Well, I grow the seeds from time to time.
Okay, okay, yeah. But if you take a red one, this is coffee. So this is where you get your morning brew. And if you open it up, it's kind of a white little seed. And you can take that seed, and it has kind of a sweet flavor to it. Unlike coffee, nothing like coffee at all.
And the fruits are edible.
And they're edible. You can eat it. Can't eat the seed.
I don't.
No, no. But very, very good. Very tasty. Very strange to think that's coffee because it doesn't taste like it at all. So what we are looking at, this is Don's garden. Don, come on over here. I want to hear a little bit about this. I mean, at our feet, I see fennel. And if you smell it and taste it, that nice anise flavor. How far does your easement go here?
As far as that red sign down there.
Oh my gosh.
And the cyclone fence gate.
Wow. So this is an easement. The which company put it in? The water or power or what?
Well, it's Southern California Edison.
Edison. And now your house is here, and there's a house next door and a house next door. Would you share with us how you got this? Because this is the most amazing story. So how did you acquire this easement? I say it with quotes.
Yeah, I didn't acquire it. I'm leasing it for $1 a year from the homeowners association on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
It all started when they kicked me out of my garden. I used to have a vegetable garden back here for about 15 years, and then they took possession of the easement and they cleared everybody out. They told me to get out because they were going to spray the thing with weed killer for twice a year. In the process, one year when they were spraying it, the spray drifted onto my kiwi vines, and this infuriated me. And being Southern Californian, my immediate response was to sue. So I gathered all the information along the entire easement to see what damage they had done collecting the data, and told them that what they had done was unacceptable. And they said, well, we never really wanted this anyway, we'll give it to you.
Wow. And for $1 a year?
No, for nothing.
For nothing?
Well, then they looked at their CC&Rs, their association regulations, and they said that they need 2/3 approval of their membership, and they say we don't get 2/3 approval on anything, so we'll lease it to you. So they leased it to me. I asked all the neighbors whether they wanted to go in with me. The only one that did was this guy to the south, who mostly wants to expand his backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially I took over the whole thing. They said I had to take it all or none, because they didn't want to break it into pieces.
What a bonus.
Yeah.
What a bonus.
At the time I was still working, so I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
But right now I am really happy that I made that decision, because it
just goes on and on and on.
It's made my retirement life.
Yeah.
It's what I do now.
Well, let's go take a look. So I hope you all know what we're looking at here. We got Don here pulling out a pomegranate, one of his wonderful pomegranates. And it's so wonderful that they even named it that, right? This is the variety.
Yep.
So there is a beautiful pomegranate. Let's see if we can't open this puppy up. I like to do it from the bottom. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful color on it. And then you come down and around a couple times. And there you go. Beautiful. Juicy red. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite fruits of all. Once you learn how to eat them, open them properly, sweet, just juicy, that lovely pomegranate flavor. Don grows some of the best pomegranates in our club. Oh, that's wonderful. And I think that's how they got the name, right?
Well, if you ask me, I would say that. This was my long-time favorite, but I think Parpianca may actually be better.
We've got a lot of...
By my standards.
Yeah, we've got a lot of discussion on just which one is the most flavorful. A number of years ago, it was the year of the pomegranate at our Festival of Fruit. Now, my favorite was Desertnia, which was also from Russia, as was the Parfianca and a number of others. What strikes me best is the seed quality. So on the wonderful, these are all edible, but you'll find some wonderful that are not quite as soft as seeded as what Don's got. The Parfianca has a harder seed. The Desertnia almost...
Hold it.
What?
Parpianca has a softer seed.
I would argue that. I would argue that.
That is my Parpianca.
Your Parfianca.
I don't know about your Parfianca.
Maybe it's that you grow it in that clay soil and they got to be soft somewhere. I don't know. This is heaven. Oh my. These are just wonderful, Don. So what we're looking at here is a Jujube. Not the little guys that you used to eat at the movie theater. This is the fruit called a Jujube. Don, what variety is this?
That's a Sherwood.
This is a Sherwood.
The one behind you is a Lee.
Right back here. Okay. There's a number of, probably dozens and dozens of varieties of
like
these.
Hundreds.
Yeah. And when you open it up, they're also kind of called a Chinese date. They sort of look a little bit like a date. You can let them dry and they'll stay for a long time that way in a dried state, or you can eat them as is. They're really delicious, very sweet. If you get them a little bit earlier when the color is green, yellow, with a little bit of brown on it, they taste very much like an apple. A lot of Asians will turn this into a type of tea. So you'll pour hot water into a mix of this, a little bit of sweetener in it, and drink it. Very, very healthful, very nice fruit. Don, I've never seen such a short mango, and yet we've got dozens of fruit on this. They're big and beautiful. What variety do we have here?
The solution is the variety, which is Kit, K-E-I-T-T. This tree was 9 feet tall in the spring when it was blooming, and the weight of the fruit every year brings it way back down, so it's now maybe around 7 feet, and bends all the branches to the ground. You might recall Gary Matsuoka, when he was talking about mangoes, said he stopped growing kits because they all wound up on the ground. But you can see I have staked these up here.
Yep.
I want to keep the fruits off the ground because if they get blemishes, they ripen unevenly. If they ripen unevenly, you usually have to throw away about half the fruit.
Oh wow, you don't want to do that.
No.
So this is one tree right here?
Yeah.
It's a big mango. That is one big mango. Don, tell us the name of this.
It's Lancettea.
Lancettea.
And it's not full size yet.
Oh my gosh. I've seen some big mangoes in Florida for sure. And that is, I mean, that's huge. That is a large mango. But remember, as with any kind of fruit, bigger isn't always better, occasionally.
And in this case, that's definitely true.
Definitely true, okay.
Because but one problem with the big size fruits is that if they get any blemish on them at all, they'll ripen unevenly.
Right. So here we've got a rather unusual plant. I tried growing this plant. I didn't get very far. It grew about it was about this big when I bought it, and it promptly decided not to stay with me. It gave up the ghost. This is the achacha. So they're from, I believe, Bolivia? Is that what you've heard?
Yeah, I've heard the mountains of Colombia.
Colombia, yeah, so that general area. It is related to the mangosteen. It gets a white sort of membrane around the seed, which is delicious. And you've had this for how long? 4 years?
Yeah, this is the 4th season.
So it's this big. When I got mine, it was this big, just a sprout, and no fruit yet.
No.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. If this ever blooms, we're coming back. So what does it taste like, Don? You've had one.
I generally don't compare tastes because people say things taste like a mix of peach and banana or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I say this was very pleasant to me.
So Don, what are we looking at here? This is beautiful, beautiful tree.
That's my prize Mauritius Lychee.
Wow.
This year it had so many fruits that all these branches were touching the ground.
Oh my. You didn't call me to help.
From the weight of the fruit.
You didn't call me to help you. I'd have held them up for you. Wow. That's the biggest one that we've run across on our series so far. Beautiful tree. No fruit.
Not now.
Time to move.
But it's been faithful the last few years.
What we have here is a Suriname cherry, one of my favorite fruits. Right by my hand, you see an orange one and a red one. Don't pick the orange ones, pick the red ones. These are ripe, and there's a couple here. They just pretty much fall off when they're ripe. So, looks like a little miniature pumpkin. Oh. You push it up against the roof of your mouth and they just become juice in your mouth. These are the most delicious things. They are definitely habit forming. I'm hooked on them. Two kinds of varieties, the reds, and there's also a black variety. The black have a little bit sweeter flavor to them, but the red ones have more flavor. So more flavor on these, sweeter on the blacks. Delicious. And one tree, some of these produce 2 and 3 times a year. I've heard of even 4 times a year. Just depends on which variety you're lucky enough to get. Suriname cherries, delicious fruit.
This tree was given to me by Eunice Mesner and planted in 2001. It has variable fruit quality, in my opinion. Sometimes they're terrible, and a lot of times they're really delicious. They're good now. And I consume quite a lot of these. Usually go out and get just a handful or two almost every day when they're ripe. And they are ripe a large part of the year with different blooms. Like the tree has mature fruits on it right now, but it's also got a pretty good bloom on parts of it. So it will fruit over a long period.
Nope. Little white sapote. See if we can open this one up. Feels a little hard. They need to be soft. Oop, there you go. So there's your seed. That is probably Kevin's favorite fruit, or one of them. Lots of flavors, juicy. The flesh is very, very soft, almost pudding-like, not quite, but almost. If it were to relax on your counter for a couple days, it would be very soft.
Just about ready. This is a Subel, and this tree gives a good illustration of how this tree grows. If the branches are in sunlight, they have a lot of foliage. If they're in the shade, as the inside of the tree here, you see almost no foliage. Also, they usually have multiple seeds of different sizes and shapes. So when you take the one big seed out, there are usually some smaller ones to go with it, sometimes 2 or 3 big ones, depending on the size of the fruit. But I also like this. What I do with these is when they're ripe, I peel them. They have a very thin but tough skin, and I peel that skin off and mix them with my lime juice, and I think that makes one of the best desserts. No sugar needed.
Yeah.
They're very sweet as is, and it's a very good flavor.
Lovely
About like
fruit.
ice cream.
Yep. So we saw this plant on another one of the Let's Find Outs. These are the flowers up here, and here's the beginnings of a fruit, and a small one, and another small one. And we come down a little further and we start getting bigger and bigger fruit until we get one this size, which is ripe. And if you haven't guessed by now, you'll notice that there are 5 lobes to this, such that when we cut across and you look at this, and you see how it got its name. This is the star fruit, otherwise known as carambola. Now you have to look out, if you're like me, and you tend to get a certain type of kidney stones, you shouldn't be eating too many of these. That is sweet, perfect. These will cause kidney stones because there's a high content of oxalic acid in it. Now the riper they get, the less oxalic acid. But they're beautiful. You slice them, put them in a salad. Just delicious fruit. Juicy, sweet, little tartness to it. Lovely. So what we have here is an Adamoya. Don, tell us a little bit about this.
Well, Adamoya is a cross between a cherimoya and a sugar apple.
Okay.
It is similar to a cherimoya. The flavor is distinctly different. Tends not to be as sweet. Tends to be a little chewier, not as soft. But this tree has provided, I'd say, about 100 fruits per year.
Wow.
Forever.
Wow.
They get ripe in the spring. They get a lot bigger than this when they're ripe, but they're beautiful fruits.
White flesh with the black seeds?
Yes,
like
very
the rest
similar
of the
to
family.
cherimoya in that
Yeah.
respect. Well, is yours cleaner than mine?
I just licked it.
Oh, well, so it should be sterile.
It's sterile.
But it's dull.
I beg your pardon.
But it doesn't have to be sharp for this.
No.
And the one I had this morning was delicious.
Oh my goodness, look at that. No seeds.
So this must be a female papaya.
Female
No seeds.
unpollinated. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And tell us again the variety. You think it's a mix.
Well, I believe it's a cross between some standard Hawaiian papaya and a dwarf Indonesian. I thought it was a dwarf Indonesian, but it's not looking like the dwarf Indonesians that I grew before.
Beautiful color, nice smell, nice papaya smell to it. A little ripening could...
So it's not quite ripe?
Not quite. Nice flavor. As you get to the bottom, it gets riper. Oh, that's very nice. Now I'd have that for breakfast any day. And this one's for Kevin. Both Kevin and I would like to thank you all for following along with us today at Don Winterstein's place, and like to remind you all, please like us on Facebook. Just check the little box to like, and follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. We would really appreciate you to just check the little box on that, and have yourselves a great day. We've enjoyed it. I get to eat my favorite fruit, Suriname cherry. Don, I got your hands full. He gets them all day long. See you next time.